Okay, it's finally happening. I'm actually getting off my ass and doing something about this channel, which has been lying dormant since a decade and a half. I've used it as with a lot of people who got on YouTube earlier to upload like random stuff and family videos and all, which are obviously hidden away. Nobody's gonna find them. But I am finally gonna be putting stuff about my own cars on this channel, on my channel. So here it goes. There's not going to be any fancy editing here. It's going to be as plain and simple as it gets. It's probably going to be long videos as well. I'm going to be probably talking a whole lot more than you guys want to hear. But since a bunch of you have been asking for longer format videos, uh, well, about my cars, about the collection, about what I drive on a normal basis, this is the channel for it. No better video to start off with than this, in my opinion. Uh, I'm honestly trying to hold back my emotion when I do this, but I'm just going to come out and say it. I have finally managed to buy the first ever Thar, the prototype Thar, the car that started the whole Thar movement. It was my dad's prototype back in the day when he was at Mahindra, leading the Thar project. As some of you know, some of you might not. My dad invented the Thar for what it is in its original form, the first generation. And this car is the car that was the first ever built Thar prototype. It started off. Let me give you a quick brief of how it started off. Okay, it started off after he passed away. Today is the 8th anniversary. If you're watching this on August 10th, today is the 8th anniversary of his death, and it started off a few months after that. Where I requested the Mahindra guys, listen, if you guys ever want to sell the car, please let me have it. At the time, they were still using it for like internal activities and stuff. They said no, it's just gonna stay here. It's gonna be a part of our fleet. So I said, okay, cool. In 2018, I met Mr. Mahindra in Rome for dinner, and I requested, I begged, I said, Mr. Mahindra, please, I would love to have it. I would love to resurrect it. I would love to make it sort of as it was, and sort of be a homage to both Mahindra, the Thar, and my dad. And he said, you know what? Yeah, okay, cool. Let's do that. It took a while after that, but finally the wheels started moving in 2023 when I tweeted out to him begging him. When the last time I was going to take a chance, publicly going to tweet out to him and say, please sell me the car. And somebody reached out, and somebody very high up in Mahindra reached out and said, you know what? Yeah, we're going to do it. I'll be honest, the car isn't running. I know, I've seen it. I get updates about the car every few weeks, few months from people who are friends at Mahindra, and it's in pretty bad shape. But I don't really care. I mean, it's a part of my legacy. It's a part of the Dhabhar family legacy. It's an important car for India. I mean, it's kick-started the Thar. Can you imagine how important that is? I've just got the call, which is why I'm making this video in the first place. Um, I've just got the call. It's ready to be picked up. Um, I'm 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 trying not to get emotional about it, but anybody who knows me personally knows how much this means to me. I mean, I'm fidgety. Uh, yeah, so we're gonna sort of go pick up the car. I'm gonna take you along for the journey. I thought, what better video to start this channel off with, or restart the channel off with. So yeah, come join me as I go and pick up my dad's car, the first ever Thar. Ooh, goosebumps. Okay, so we made it to Mahindra. Um, not going to show you much around, obviously, because we can't really show you, or we shouldn't be showing you stuff from inside the factory. But there is a flatbed, and I believe behind it is the car. I haven't seen it in years. In years. Oh, there we are. There she is. Oh my God. Whew. Uh, Slightly emotional. Haven't seen it in many years. It's in very bad shape, but that's the whole point of this. We're going to rescue it. It's an important car. It deserves to be rescued, and we're going to bring it back to the shape that she was in when she was an absolute legend. Um, it looks very different from the last famous pictures of the car. Yes, and let's quickly have maybe a little look around. Obviously, the paint's all finished. I don't even think she turns over. Little fish bowl inside there. Oh, that's signs of a fire. Well, at least the original seat that Dad had put in is still there. Yeah, lots and lots of work, for sure. Lots of work, but I am so ready for this. I am so ready for this project. Guys, this is so emotional for me. You have no idea. Fuck. I'm trying to hold a straight face to do this video. Anyways, yeah, first ever Thar, first ever prototype Thar. I know it says MH01V is an older car, but this is the actual first ever Thar prototype. Right, let's load it up on the flatbed and let's get her going. We take her home, clean it up a little bit more, and then let's see what we can do. This is going to be a proper build series, very basic editing, nothing fancy, nothing like you see on Power Drift. It's just going to be a bunch of clips joined together. But yeah, for now, I think we'll cut just to some shots of the car. I'm so damn happy. I'm so happy. Oh, I'm so happy. So we're all loaded up, just tying her down so that she doesn't move. Couple of things that I've made sure the bonnet's sort of locked in place. Although this is broken, we need to fix that amongst the other things we need to fix. But yeah, she's finally loaded up, ready to go. And I think I'm gonna, I don't even know what to say right now. I'm not trying to make this all emotional for the video. It's honest, it's raw. I've been waiting for this day for many years. She's finally coming home. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. She needs to be rescued. She's an important car in the Indian context. She's crucial and she needs to be rescued. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Okay, so this is the day after the day I've actually gone and picked up the car. I couldn't shoot much because in the basement it's quite dark. I'll put a picture of it here, but it's quite dark and of course there was just an overflow of emotion. So I've got my sort of thoughts back together now. I'd just like to quickly talk about the car itself because many people might not know what the car is. So this is the first, and I will do a proper video on it. The next video will be a more elaborate video. I'm just going to talk about it in short. This is the first ever prototype car that was made originally on an MM550. It's a brand new car, was built with that chassis number that Mahindra actually did back in the day. Obviously it has a 2.5 engine in it, or was it a 2.6? At one point there was a 2.6, then there was a 2.5. A bunch of engines have gone through. It also had a limited slip diff in it at one point in time. We don't know if it's still there. We'll check it when we do open stuff up. But essentially this was the car that my dad used to convince Mahindra that a market for such a car exists. And also this was the same car that was shown to a lot of off-roaders around the country to sort of convince them that look, Mahindra can still come back in the off-road game. We're not just making Scorpios and XUVs and stuff like that. We're actually making enthusiast vehicles too, if we really want to. And of course, you know how that went. They've sold more than a lakh original Thars. They're well over a lakh on the new ones. And this is the car that started it all. A lot of people, a lot of journalists have driven this car for the first time secretly before the car was launched to sort of gauge how the reaction was. And everybody who drove it just had a huge smile on their face. Now, look, I know that the car, the first generation Thar, is not the best vehicle as such. You have to remember the whole budget for the first gen Thar was a few crores. It's less than 3 crore rupees. That's it. That's all the money that the team had to actually build everything to start off production with. It happened in secret for most of its life till it was showcased to the upper management. And this is the car that was shown to the upper management. This is the car that everybody has driven. All the upper management has driven this very car. So as a car to the Indian context, to the Indian car scene, this is unreal important. For me, obviously, I've spent thousands and thousands and thousands of kilometers in the passenger seat with my father when we used to do testing across the length and breadth of the country. This was before I became a full-time auto journalist. Or actually, I was an auto journalist, but of course, I know the difference between what we can and cannot talk about. There are still things that we can't talk about that we know. But yeah, that's the importance of this car. I would also like to take the time out here and really thank a few people, because without those people, this whole thing would have never happened. There are people from Mahindra, so Anand Mahindra, obviously, big thank you. Rajesh Jejurikar for all his help to sort of push the whole thing. To Vijay Nakra, yes, I know I owe you a lunch. I will get that lunch for you guys at the Mahindra factory very, very soon. Neha Anand, Siddharth Saha, who's like the head of PR, the adventure team, so Vinod Nukla, Ryan Lee, Manish Sarsar, and then of course there are some people that I don't want to talk about because they're my secret sources in Mahindra, but a lot of people who actually did give me pictures, give me updates, give me sort of overall view of what the car was going through in its lifespan when it was at Mahindra. So I sort of bow my hat metaphorically and really to you guys. Thank you so much for making this happen. And as I said, I'll do a proper video on what the car is. I have so many pictures. I have some stories to tell. We will tell that in the next video, and we'll also do a more detailed walk around in the next video. Just bear with me though, the lighting might not be very good, but in the next video also, Thar meets all its brothers and sisters for the first time. So the Fiats, the SL, the VRS, the Polo, the Alto, all of them will meet for the first time. Okay, I think I've said all I have to say. Again, thank you to every single person who's been involved in this. I owe you guys a lot, and obviously she'll be taken care of permanently and like family. Thank you. Stay tuned for the next video.